Easy on the brakes, man.
There's a 2-second delay.
We got you.
Thing just. It's got good any dive.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to get around this. You got wood?
Yeah.
So that spins. This spins. The belt does all the work at the front end of it. And you have a magnet table and you have a suction table. So you can do aluminum and steel parts or both. So it'll suck down using vacuum for any aluminum parts. Obviously, based on the size of the part, you're gonna put smaller pieces here, bigger pieces there, and then steel parts on the sides. It's gonna be weird because a lot of them have cutout. A lot of our parts have a lot of cutouts, so you'll primarily run that on the side here. Pretty fancy.
There's a lot of moving parts in here. There's a lot going on in here.
Are you the mechanic for this machine too, when something?
For literally all of them.
Oh, really? You know what the air compressor said?
Oh, listen, Linda. Nowhere in the manual did it say that that was where the reset button was. Okay. Crazy. I'm a semi-professional.
Are you done yet?
I'm working on it. Feel free to grab one and start doing the front fold.
Oh, you're good. You're doing great.
Yeah, while you're sitting there making comment.
Where are the other two?
That's on off the wall.
All right, you guys saw us set this. They saw us set it up, right? So we have the Syntrax machine set up. I guess the code, or I guess the name for it is the deburring 50 SBP. The 50 I know stands for a 50-inch belt. The way that this works, half or more than half is a vacuum table, and then this strip is magnetic with rare earth magnets along the entire side here, so it actually can handle small parts like this, but I haven't even operated this yet. It's been running for 2 days straight. B-Man, Brendan, you guys have seen him before.
On like 5
Not a
years
lot.
ago.
So B-Man, you've been here for
5 years.
5 years. Primarily runs the waterjet, the laser, and handles a lot of the metal cutting profile parts that we make. Does a lot of programming, nesting, things like that. You tell me how this thing works on a scale of 1 to 10.
Overall, for efficiency of the shop, it's definitely going to improve things. I'd probably give it a 8 or a 9 out of 10. Nothing is perfect in my opinion. There's definitely room for improvement, like we were talking about having the magnetized belt be all the way.
Yeah.
Because as you can see already, we've been using it quite a bit, and that side of the belt is fairly worn already.
So you have used metal parts on the vacuum side as well?
Correct.
They just have to be larger.
Yeah.
Have you had any parts disconnect from the belt
We have, yeah.
already? I believe this one
It
did.
was that exact part, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So it basically got kicked out because it didn't have enough suction. So you guys are now going to leave in the center
correct.
piece?
Yeah, we're modifying our principles and practices of cut parts to accommodate this machine.
Yeah. And setting it up, it's essentially gives you a digital readout of how close the belt is and the drum is to the bed.
Correct, yeah, that's the main adjustment profile of this machine. And then there is a secondary adjustment that you can do with the buffing part of it.
Oh, you can make them closer.
You can, you can raise and lower that independently of the belt, and that's the only other adjustments that we get.
The belt's critical because if you were a couple mil off on the height and you tried to send a part through, the belt's not going to be happy.
For sure, yeah.
About that.
Yeah, you're going to cause some extra wear on the belt by having external forces pressing down on it, and then at the same time, we're also doing the back side of the piece first, which is the rougher side, to allow the belt to have a longer lifespan.
Outside of the parameters, it's pretty easy to set this thing up and run it.
Yeah, this machine's great. I actually just trained another employee on this morning, Dom, and it's just a matter of typing in your part thickness. We are running 1/2-inch parts, so I generally try to go 5 thou less. And then from there, just press the position button. As you can see, this number is automatically adjusting and the table is raising up.
Have we done like a hood vent yet?
We haven't done...
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, the thinnest material that we'll do is 50 thousandths of an inch. and the hood vents are 62. So we're just sneaking it in there.
And what some people don't really know is that even though this part, if it was made out of steel, probably would have been fine, but because aluminum against sandpaper,
Right.
has a ton of grip.
Yeah.
Aluminum's coefficient of friction is extremely
Very high.
so it's actually quite sticky. The aluminum requires more suction versus any steel parts. Let's take a look on the inside of this thing.
So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run a seat rail through. This side has actually already been through the machine, so you can see the difference between an unpolished and polished side. First thing we do is we're gonna take the measurement of the part, showing about 0.51. I'll input that into the machine. Slightly smaller than what I measured, just so that it has good contact on the part. Push the positioning button, it raises the machine to the position we need it to. And then from there we can turn everything on. That's the sanding belt, that's the buffing wheels, that's the rotation of the buffing wheels, that's the polishing. And now if you look at the bed, that's gonna start moving as well. The machine is fully operational right now. And I'm gonna utilize the section with the vacuum since aluminum is not magnetic. We'll put the part on, trying to align it with the holes, and the machine's gonna feed it through and spit it out on the other side. All the different processes. And then it's gonna come out the backside here after it goes through the polishing wheel. We usually grab the air gun to blow off some of the dust. And that's a finished part in about 15 seconds. All done, good to go.
So inside of here, you can see like the stations. The main belt is what hits it first. And then do you guys tension this, or that tension
Automatically
once it's set?
tension. That's what this part is here.
Okay,
It's automatically tensioning it as it goes.
there you go. And then this thing spins around this way, these spin around, and then B-Man just said you can raise and lower the height of this independently. So if you wanted to get more of the edges, so this machine is supposed to eliminate close to 70% of sandblasting. We still need to do some, of course. And then what happens there on the back?
That's the polishing stage. So we got sanding, buffing, polishing. And this is basically just like an emery cloth that rotates around and is the final step. 50 inches wide, sanding, buffing, polishing.
If it was Jeopardy, I could have put it together.
For sure.
I could have put something together. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's essentially a pretty stiff giant Scotch-Brite wheel is what that is. Now, looking at the back side, we're gonna scan this and then make our own catch that'll line up with different types of bins and devices that we can more easily unload parts, because right now it's a two-man job.
Correct.
If something's too small, it'll get inside of here, so we want to eliminate that. One thing that's not nearly as fun, but you have to consider, this is the suction table, and it draws in all the dust and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a dust collector. So it collects fumes, dust, particles, brings it into here and filters it. It's quite loud. It makes a bunch of noise all the time, and it takes up a lot of room. So when you think of buying one of these, you oftentimes don't think of this.
Even the transformers and stuff like that too. There's a lot of electrical components and auxiliary motors and stuff that we have to install first before we can even start running this.
Yeah, I think you're looking anywhere between 5 and 10 grand to wire in an industrial piece of equipment, whether it's just the labor or you need a transformer like we do. And then one thing that you can look at is how do you change and service these belts?
For sure, that's definitely something we're gonna have to look at, especially with our limited space for the magnetic strip. Yeah, that's definitely something that we're gonna have to figure out.
The belt, I believe, comes out the other side over here. We're gonna find out soon, because it looks like we're wearing it down pretty quick. We've been using it for like 2 days straight, but inside of here, the belt slides out this way, and we had this machine quite a bit closer to this wall, and we weren't able to get the belt out when we were like testing it. So this gap here is for access to the panels and to get that belt out of the machine. Hopefully the roller fits. We didn't check that one, but they said the roller lasts a long time. The Scotch
Oh, the
Brite.
brush. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one should be fun.
That's basically it. If you like this video and you want to see the rest of our machines, comment below. But otherwise, that's it. It works great, saving us a bunch of time. It is expensive, but you know, you make payments on it.